Today, we're talking about a scenario that, well, it sends a jolt of panic through any pet owner. What really happens when your furry friend gets into your caffeine?
It really does. I mean, it's a scene that's probably all too familiar in a busy home, right? You're just trying to get your morning started. You've got that first cup of coffee in your hand.
And just like that, there it is. That instant oh no moment. Your dog is lapping at the puddle on the floor, or maybe your cat is getting a little too curious with what's left in the mug. Ugh, it's that split second where your heart just sinks.
And of course, the questions start racing through your mind. Are they going to be okay? Do I need to rush to the clinic? You know the coffee wakes you up, but for our pets, that caffeine hit is, well, it's way more than just a morning boost. The real questions are, how much did they get and what do I do right now?
So let's break it all down. In the next few minutes, we're going to talk about the real risks, the warning signs you absolutely cannot miss, and the exact steps you should take.
So, first things first, why is caffeine so dangerous for them? What's actually happening inside your pet's body that makes this such a big deal?
Okay, here's the easiest way to picture it. It's like someone accidentally pinned the fast forward button on your pet's internal clock. Their heart, their lungs, their entire nervous system, it's all forced to work at this dangerous breakneck speed. It's just too much for their system to handle.
So the science behind this, it comes down to these compounds called methylxanthines. You'll find them in caffeine, and a related one, theobromine, is in chocolate, which you probably already know is a big no-no. The thing is, while our bodies handle these stimulants just fine, our pet systems are incredibly sensitive, which leads to some really dangerous overstimulation.
And listen, the danger isn't just in your coffee cup. Caffeine lurks in so many common household items. You've got the obvious ones, of course, like coffee grounds and tea bags, but then there are things you might not even think about, like diet pills, some sodas, or even coffee-flavored ice cream. And that is exactly why it's so important to know who's most at risk.
So, does this affect every pet the same way? Not at all. Let's talk about who is the most vulnerable here.
Okay, the number one factor, the biggest one, is size. It matters so much. A single lick of coffee, well, it might not even bother a big golden retriever, but that exact same amount could be seriously toxic for a tiny 5-pound Yorkie or a house cat. For our smaller friends, a little bit really does go a long, long way. And you know, it's not just about weight. Cats, for example, are often more sensitive to caffeine than dogs are. Plus, if you have a pet with a pre-existing heart condition, or even just an older animal, they're going to have a much harder time handling the stress this puts on their body. Recognizing these risks is a huge first step. But now, what are the actual warning signs you need to be watching for?
Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to help more pets live healthier, happier lives.
Okay, this next part is absolutely crucial. What signs should you be looking for at home? What are the red flags?
So a big one is restlessness. They might be pacing, just can't seem to settle down, they're just acting wired. You might also notice rapid breathing or panting, even when it's not hot out. Vomiting or diarrhea can happen too. That's their body's way of trying to get rid of the toxin. And then there are muscle tremors, the shakes. You might also notice their heart is racing. If you put your hand on their chest, it could feel like a drum. And in the most severe cases, this can unfortunately lead to seizures.
And the timing here is so critical. You'll usually see the first signs, like that restlessness, pop up within about 30 to 60 minutes. But things can get worse pretty fast, often peaking around the 1 to 2 hour mark. And get this, the effects can last for a surprisingly long time, like 12 hours or sometimes even more. So if you're seeing these signs, what happens when you actually get to the vet?
Look, if you even suspect your pet had more than just a tiny little lick, the absolute best thing to do is call your vet immediately. So what can you expect when you actually get there? Let's walk through it.
First off, when you arrive, try to stay calm. I know it's hard, but we've seen this before. The first step is usually something called decontamination. If it just happened, we might induce vomiting or give them activated charcoal. Think of the charcoal like a sponge. It just soaks up the toxin in their stomach. The next step is supportive care, which often means IV fluids to help flush the caffeine out of their system. And finally, we'll focus on controlling symptoms with medication to manage a racing heart, tremors, or seizures. So, with all that care, what's the path to recovery like?
All right, let's talk about the path to recovery. After that stressful emergency visit, what does the road ahead look like for your little one? And here's the really good news. With quick action and proper vet care, the prognosis is usually excellent. Most pets just need a little medical support to help them ride out the effects of the stimulant while their body works on processing it.
Now, once you get them home, the final part of their recovery is really up to you. They're just going to need a quiet, low-stress environment where they can rest and fully recover. It's all about giving them that safe, calm space they need to get back to their old selves. So if there's one thing to take away from all of this, it's this. When it comes to caffeine and our pets, the wait-and-see approach is just not the best call. Early action is what keeps a little spill from turning into a full-blown crisis. Remember, this information is for educational purposes and is not a substitute for professional veterinarian advice. If you have any concerns about your pet's health, please consult with your certified veterinarian. They are your best resource for ensuring your companion lives a long, happy, and healthy life.